What's up, everyone? Junkin Phoenix here. So today I'm going to do some reactions to people talking about their buyer's remorse when it comes to their homes. So this is always an interesting topic for me just because I am a home buyer. I bought my place in October of 2021. And for me, so far so good. Haven't really had any major issues or problems. My mortgage rate has been, pretty steady. I pay a little bit extra on my principal every month now. So yeah, I don't have any complaints, but I do know that I do not live in a vacuum, and buying a home is not for everyone, and there are, risks that can come with it. So we're going to go ahead and hear what these people have to say.
So, you want to buy a house in 2025? Let me give you some knowledge. Number one, whatever anybody says, it's always the right time to buy if the price is right. But sometimes when the price is right, there's stuff that comes along with it. I closed on this house last Friday. On Saturday, the entire HVAC unit went out. We thought that it was just the fan motor, had that replaced, and they came back after it did not work, and the entire thing has to be replaced. That would be $10,000 right there that you're looking at. And this goes out for inspectors. Pay for an inspection, but be wary who you pay to do your inspection, because some inspectors are not as thorough as they should be. And as long as the thermostat turns on and there's heat coming out of the vents, all is well. Check. But if you have a good inspector that will actually go through your unit and make sure that it's not just slapped together to pass inspection, you might not be in the same situation as me. So just a point, if you buy a house in 2025, make sure you do your due diligence so you're not like me and wasting $10,000 to $15,000 after only being here for 3 days.
Okay, that is really rough. I can see. I think for this video, it's not necessarily. I don't necessarily know if this guy has buyer's remorse, but he probably does regret buying the home he did buy. I feel like the scariest thing with owning a home is the air conditioner unit. Especially here, I live in Florida, and it gets extremely hot. So having an AC throughout the year is a necessity, and I'm always just scared if there's ever a day where something just doesn't, if my AC just stops working. I actually had a scare like that last month during or back in May during Memorial Day weekend. On a Saturday, it was like 96 degrees outside, and my AC decided to just not work. Now, luckily, it was not anything major. It was just there was like a clog in the drain pipe, so that was a pretty easy fix. I mean, it still cost me $400, but there wasn't. At least I was just happy that the AC unit itself was not, broken. So yeah, I definitely feel this guy that really sucks to have to replace a whole unit after buying your home, just 3 days after buying your home. That I can't imagine that.
It was probably mentioned, but the house is falling apart in 40 different places simultaneously, so just make sure you stay on top of that. Just sign here to say you probably can't afford what you're getting yourself into. Sign right here to say that you're probably going to get lead poisoning from living here. I mean, we didn't check, but like statistically, it's not looking good. Keep in mind the closing costs are $100 billion, but you guys are good for it, so no worries. So I know you guys are aware that the house is being sold as is and kind of being sold as will be, since they are taking it apart as they leave, kind of disassembling it like a Lincoln log. So just as a reminder, no attic, no basement, no windows, no bathroom, no closets. So really quaint. You guys made a really good choice. I mean, it has such great bones. And what I mean by that are the bones we found under the floorboards in several of the bedrooms. It is in the contract. Everything is broken. I'm pretty sure we said that already, right? In the meantime, don't think about the sellers too hard because they will pull the deal and go with someone else.
I know.
Okay, buying a home cannot be that bad right now. I mean, is it really that bad in 2025 for people? I guess there's just like a lot of just issues. Like I'm not looking in the market for a house right now. So I don't know. Are things really that bad? Let me know in the comment section. If I would say my advice is, when you do buy a home, everything is your responsibility. Like whether that's like any repairs that need to be made around the house, the AC unit, if there's something, if the appliances aren't working, everything is on you. So unless you just have a lot of spare cash to spend, make sure that whenever you buy, that everything is in good shape, and that, you know, that it's up to a certain standard to where you would feel comfortable living in. I know for me, like if there was an issue where, let's say I bought a home and there was a water leak, you know, that's not a small issue. That's big. So just, if things are really that bad in the market in 2025, just make sure that everything's good. Don't settle. Do not settle, because you will pay for it later.
Never thought that I would say this, but I kind of want to sell my house and move into an apartment. If you've been house hunting and you just haven't been finding anything, or things just haven't been working out for you, you might want to really consider renting. And I know that's not what you want to hear. And two, it kind of depends what season of life you're in, but whenever I bought this house, I was with my partner and I just really thought things were going upwards. However, that didn't work out. So now I'm 30, I'm single, I have this whole house to myself. I hate doing yard work. I have to mow my yard, okay? And I'm just a girl and I don't want to do that. And whenever I moved into this house, I knew what I wanted going into buying a house. I wanted a condo at first. I wanted to live in like an apartment style type of building. I wanted an HOA. I didn't want to have to do any type of yard work. I didn't want a house, but my realtor kind of talked me into it. I had to get an FHA loan, and unfortunately a lot of like condos and those type of styles of living, they only take conventional loans. So my options were very limited. So I had to kind of get a single family home. Like that was really my only choice. And it's been great, it's been fine, but now like 2 years down the road, I'm really reconsidering. If something breaks, I have to pay for it. I have to pay for all of this stuff, and it is so stressful doing everything alone. If you live in an apartment, you don't have any landscaping to do. If you live in an apartment, if something breaks, guess what? You just call somebody and they come and fix it for you. You don't have to pay for it. That sounds wonderful to me. And I might get a pool and a patio. There are benefits to living in apartments. And I know whenever I was looking for my house, people told me like, you don't have to buy a house. You know, you can just rent. Like, it's okay. But in my head, I'm like, no, I have to buy a house. I have to buy a house before I'm 30. I have to do this. I have to do like, no. You are putting that timeline on yourself. It doesn't matter. I did the thing. I bought a house, and now here I am, like probably just gonna sell it and go back to apartment living. Old me would have thought that was a fail. New me thinks it's smart. Just saying. Think really hard before you go through all that paperwork, you do all the loan stuff before you buy your house, because you could be like me a couple years later going back to renting. I am here to say that being a homeowner is not all butterflies and rainbows. It's definitely not what I thought it would be, at least not yet. I'm stressed. I like have buyer's remorse, and I'm like, what the hell did I get myself into? My washer that I just bought is leaking. The sink downstairs is leaking. My air does not work, just found that out. It's going to be in the upper 70s this week. I have hyperhidrosis. That means I have excessive sweating. How am I going to survive this week? I'm going to be a sweaty, bloody mess. I just bought cameras to hook up, and they only detect certain things when they want. Yes, I've tried all the different features and enabled all of the things, created all the different zones, and they still only want to work when they want to work. What's the point of having cameras if they're not detecting everything you want them to detect? I don't have money to buy all the things that I need, so I am so disorganized. As you can see, nothing has a place. I'm not broke, but I also don't have money to buy everything I need right now because things are so expensive. And you know how they say, like, if you're living in a mess, your life is going to be 10 times more stressful? That is me. I hate living with a mess. I hate not having any organization. It's really getting to me. Oh, and my heat decides that it wants to work whenever it wants. Can't figure that out either. I thought that was the only thing that worked, and apparently it's not. I wanted to live in a condo, so everything was already taken care of for me. You don't have to worry about the lawn. You don't have to worry about repairs. Because in a condo, they take care of that for you. But I couldn't find one in my budget. So here we are. Just know, it is not all fun. I'm stressed. I'm barely hanging on.
Okay, so I think that was the same girl in both videos, I think. I'm not sure. All I can say to that is, not to sound like that sound insensitive, but do not be like that girl, please. Okay, make sure, like I said, I emphasize, make sure that you have a great home inspector, and just make sure that everything is good before you move in. Because she mentioned something about her heater, and then I think she said her washer machine stopped working, or just some. Please make sure everything is in good top shape, and just everything happens. Everybody's on their own journey, which means that everyone's on their own timeline. So you don't need to feel the pressure to buy a home by a certain age, especially if you're not ready to. You know, there are pros to buying and renting. There's pros and cons to both. So just, know your situation, and just know that when you do buy a home, you would, it is a big commitment. I personally would recommend for first time home buyers, like especially if you're in your 20s, I would recommend getting a condo or townhome first, just because it is, there's still responsibilities, but not as many. Like as she said, you don't have to worry about like landscaping and stuff like that. And there are, there's other benefits that come with it as well. So yeah, just make sure that you know what you're getting yourself into, and yeah, make sure your stuff works.
To say it, but I would not advise anyone to buy a home that's about to be built from the year 2025 to the year 2035. We are in a definite catch-22 when it comes to real estate in America, and this problem is not going away. With unaffordability for everything across the board being at all-time highs, there is no way people that bought homes before 2020 are going to sell their homes. And I don't care what interest rates do. You see, yes, in theory, if interest rates come way back down, some people will sell their homes. But keep in mind that if interest rates go down and supply is not drastically increased, it means that the home prices are going to go up. It's just simple supply and demand, guys. And it's the same exact reason why home prices now haven't gone down. Besides for a handful of states in the South which have too much inventory and skyrocketing insurance costs, home prices across the country have actually gone up about 4% this year. Home sales are actually at the lowest level since 1995. And the only reason that's the case is because the demand is not there. The demand is not there because the interest rates are so high and people can't afford shit. So what you're going to see is heavy government incentives for home builders to build homes across the country. That's the only way to increase the supply. This is going to create economic stimulus. It's going to create a lot of jobs. It's going to create economic activity. It's not a bad thing. But what happens when you heavily incentivize home builders? You get quantity over quality. They're going to cut corners like crazy. They already do it. You can see it. Go on any of the home inspector pages on TikToks, the guys that are inspecting new construction homes. It's all garbage. Shit quality, cutting corners all over the place, and there's a lot more of that coming. Now, if you think you're going to be in the market for one of these newer homes within the next 10 years, what I would advise is that you negotiate in your offer a 5 or 10 year builder's warranty. And you real estate agents should really push your buyers to do that. Don't just push them to buy a house so you can make your commission. Most new construction homes already come with a 1-year builder's warranty, because what could really go wrong in the first year? Push for higher builder's warranties. Protect yourselves. And I'm sorry, but no politician on either side is going to help you. They don't care about us.
I think this might actually be kind of a hot take, but buying a house was one of the worst things I've ever done. Obviously, everyone wants different things. Every market is different. Everyone's personal financial situation is different. Blah, 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 blah. Basically, we live just outside of Austin, and we bought a house, and houses here are just very expensive. So like we couldn't really get a cheap house. So our house is a little pricey. And we bought about 2 years ago, and we did a new build, so we didn't have to put a lot of money down, which was great. But anyway, when we signed the contract to buy the house, it was still being built. By the time we closed, interest rates had gone up by almost a full percentage point. And we also locked in when house prices were the highest. So basically we bought it the worst time possible in, the past few years. Within 2 months of living in that house, I realized that I did not want to live there. It's way too far from all of our favorite stuff. It's way too expensive. It's too much space, honestly. I don't like having to care for that much space. And I don't like feeling locked down. I don't like feeling we can't just pick up and move when our lease is up or something. It took my husband longer to realize he felt the same way. But he also feels the same way. We decided that we would try to sell our house because we were we're just not happy here. This wasn't the best decision for us. Let's just go. And we listed it 1.5 years, tried to list it at a price where we would at least break even.
So far, one of the things that she said that really resonates with me, or one of the things that I really considered before I bought my home, is make sure that you live, like, location is very important, and make sure that wherever you buy a home, it is at a place that you enjoy. So I know for me, I like to be in a big city, or like at least I like to be in the city, or medium sized city or whatever. I don't like small towns. I don't like cities where there's not a lot to do. So that was something I considered when I bought my place. I made sure that I was in a pretty fun city. I want to make sure there's like a lot of amenities, because although you can always sell your home, it's not as easy to just up and move out as it is when you have an apartment. So there's a kind of an aspect of it to where you do feel kind of locked down, and you're not locked down permanently, but if you ever do want to move, or go to a different city or whatever, it is going to be quite a process, because not only are you going to do all the emptying of your home, all the cleaning and just fixing things and stuff like that, and making sure that it's in tip top shape, you have to still wait for a buyer. You know what I'm saying? They're still going to you're probably going to have multiple buyers, and you want to get the great offer. You want to make sure that you get a great amount of money in your investment. You want to make sure that you're selling it at a great price. You want to make sure that the time that you spent living there was worth it. So yeah, there's a lot that you have to consider with buying a home, and I think location is a big factor. And even if you don't like big cities, as long as you're just in a city that you enjoy and that you can see yourself living at, at least for the next 10 years. So I know for me, I like to live in cities where there's like a lot of amenities, a lot of things to do, and I would want my home to be somewhere that's kind of close to all the action. So that's a big thing to consider. And I know, she might be different than me, but I know Austin, Texas would not be a place I would want to live.
And obviously we haven't sold yet. It's been a year and a half. At this point, we are taking a huge loss on the house and taking out a personal loan to cover it, which I know sounds crazy, but our rent will be so drastically cheaper that even with a personal loan payment each month, we are each still saving like $1,000 a month once we move to an apartment. I don't necessarily regret buying the house, because I'm the kind of person that has to do something in order to realize whether I like it or not. And so I had it in my mind that like buying a house was the goal. Like, everyone wants a house. It's the best decision you can make. It's a great financial investment, which like it absolutely can be if you time the market correctly, or if you're just going to stay there for like a really long time. Although I will say, we've calculated, even if we stayed for 30 years, say paid off our whole mortgage, and then wanted to sell our house and like make back money on it, the amount of money we would have paid in interest and everything, all said and done, our house would at that point have cost us like, I think almost $2 million or something, or like $1.7 million. And I kind of doubt that even in 30 years, we could sell for 2 mil or something and make, a few $100,000 off of it. Like, I just don't think it's ever going to be an investment that like pays off for us.
I'm glad that she mentioned that. I completely forgot about that. Interest rates, that's another thing to consider when buying a home. So I would recommend for people, and this is coming from my own personal experience, whenever you buy your first home, make sure, what I do personally, whenever I pay my, and I just started doing this relatively the last few months, but whenever I pay my mortgage, I put at least an extra $100 towards the principal, because those interest rates will add up, and you will be spending like close to. So for me, based on my interest rate, and I have a pretty decent interest rate. I think my interest rate is like 3.75, which is like pretty standard. But basically, I did the math, and if I were to just go throughout the whole 30-year term without ever paying anything on interest, or without paying additional towards the principal, I would be spending pretty much just as much as I have on the house itself in interest. So it's like the cost of the house plus the another pretty much double what I bought for the house, almost, maybe slightly less, but yeah. So you want to make sure that you pay your interest down as fast as you can, and that would not only lower your term, but it would save you like literally hundreds of thousands of dollars over the life, over your life, like over the life of the loan, or the life, or even your life if you want to stay at your house forever. You know what I'm saying? So yes, that's something to consider, and that's important also, because I think whenever we think about, oh, if I buy this property and then I sell it, I think so many times we forget about the interest we pay on it, because people just look at how much they bought the home for, how much they're selling it for, and they completely forget about the interest they paid. So it will not always give you an accurate number on, how much profit you got from your investment. So that's just a tip.
I don't like totally regret doing it, because I think I had to do it in order to realize it's not what I want. But if I could go back, obviously I would not buy the house. I would just stay renting in Austin. We would have saved so much money. But I think I would have always longed for a house, and I think I would have hated renting because I thought I wanted a house. So anyway, as my uncle put it, education is expensive. And that made me feel like the tiniest bit better about it. But anyway, I'm very excited to go back to renting. I don't think I will ever buy a house again unless I can pay for it basically in cash. Or we are just like, set for life, kind of rich, don't ever have to worry about a mortgage. We can pay people to take care of the landscaping, all that stuff. Because living here in Austin, apartments are really nice, and compared to other major cities, they're very cheap for what they are. You get a lot of amenities. Like if you get a good management company, like they're great about taking care of stuff. There's always like a resort style pool, a great gym, like it's a good setup. So in order for us to have that at home, especially with a pool, it would just be very expensive. So anyway, all in all, I don't recommend buying a house unless, you're like wanting to stay there for a long time and you're really sure about that. I just think it's not the right move for a lot of people. And it's like such a narrative that it's the best thing that you can do. And it's the American dream and it's the goal. And like, it's just not for everyone.
Yeah, so there you have it. So so I wanted to just bring this perspective in for you guys to watch and just listen to. Like I said, I'm more biased. I personally prefer owning a home, but this is the other side, and it's not for everyone. And it's not for everyone for a variety of reasons. It could just be that you're just not meant to own a home, or maybe you're not meant to own a home yet, so there are a lot of things to consider. So I just want to, have people speak their truth. And even though it makes me a little bit nervous, because I'm hoping like I don't end up like these people. I mean, so far I don't regret buying my home. I love it, and I feel like I'm in a pretty good, financial situation, and I have, I can see, I feel like I can, I don't see myself regretting anything, so. But thank you all for watching. Let me know what you all think in the comment section, and make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.